Hello everyone and welcome to my very homemade review channel. It's really great to talk film nonsense with fellow movie fanatics. And if you enjoy my little video, please don't be afraid to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification. But of course you don't have to. So I've spent the last few weeks knee deep in horror movies or dark thrillers or really depressing indie movies. I thought it was about time I watched something a little bit more light-hearted and step away from all that blood, horror and gore. Now, I don't think I'm alone here in having a list of movies that I want to watch. And after all, there are so many films at the moment and I never have enough time. So I try and compile a list of things that I want to see. So I had a little scroll through that and there it was, a movie that could well be the perfect antidote to my recent run of dark and frankly really depressing movies. It was Brad Pitt and George Clooney's new movie, Wolves. So Wolves is classed as an action comedy with a lovely old school running time of 1 hour and 48 minutes, which to me is excellent. And if you don't know, I have a bit of an issue when it comes to films that go on forever. So that kind of running time to me is a real plus. It was both written and directed by John Watts, who was responsible actually for directing the last 3 Spider-Man movies. So it'd be fair to say he kind of knows his way around a light-hearted action flick. Now this combined with the 2 leads reunited for the first time actually since Ocean 11, and the few minutes together in Burn After Reading doesn't count by the way, I thought was a real plus. Now the film itself was originally slated for a cinema release, but in the end that didn't happen and it landed on Apple TV. Now this is all too common these days, isn't it? But I think if we really want to make cinema what it once was, the only way we can do that is vote with our feet and actually go back to the cinema more often. But I'm getting off the point a little bit. I was really looking forward to this film actually, because I think it's really difficult not to enjoy these 2 actors, and they both have an old school movie charm that we rarely see. In fact, you could argue they're actually the last of their kind, and I'm talking movie stars. Nowadays, we have lots of actors, but we don't really have movie stars. I do think both these actors have been underserved recently in kind of some of the films they've been starring in, Bullet Train being an exception. So I'm really hoping that Wolves was the film I really want it to be. Now, no one likes spoilers, do they? So I'm going to try and tread lightly here so I don't give any major plot points away. But simply put, George Clooney plays a professional fixer and he's hired to cover up a high-profile crime, which takes place in a really high-tech hotel room. Now Clooney meets Amy Ryan, a character for whom he has been instructed to help clear up what can only be described as a real bloody mess. But unexpectedly a second fixer, that's Brad Pitt's character, shows up to do exactly the same job. And the 2 lone wolves, for want of a better word, are forced to work together. Quickly they find their night spiralling out of control in ways that neither of them would expect. So let's be honest, although the plot here has a few twists and turns, it isn't half as smart as it thinks it is. But I don't think that's all that important here actually. I think what the viewers are really here for is those 2 leads doing things, having wisecracking fun along the way. And if you kind of have that in mind, the plot allows that to really happen. The last thing you really want here is a movie bogged down by exposition and narrative. And luckily it isn't that kind of movie. In fact, you actually feel like it really is written for these 2 actors in mind, as they stay away from driving narrative forward in favour of just having a good time with each other. So let's talk about the good stuff. As I've highlighted, I think the material here is actually perfect for these 2, and frankly I really enjoyed being in their company. The power dynamics between the 2 characters is wonderfully observed. Clooney brings that suave, confident charm of an old-timer, while Pitt adds kind of a laid-back, mischievous energy. And it creates such a nice balance, both entertaining actually and really endearing. And to me, it feels like watching 2 friends just hanging out. The movie itself is set entirely in New York over the course of one long winter's night. The film feels like a true throwback actually to the crime films of the 70s. As the lighting and sets are really moody, dark and foreboding, while the actual images are extremely crisp. It is a comedy, but it's shot just like a noir movie. Ultimately it's beautifully shot without having the need for any kind of constant camera trickery. I have to talk a bit about reviews as well, as there seems to be a real mixed bag here. The majority of the critics have really zeroed in on a weak formulaic plot, while others felt that Clooney and Pitt appeared to be playing themselves. I'm not sure I agree with any of that actually. For my part, I have to say the film is designed to entertain. That's what it's here for. Now, there is no real deep themes to be explored or understood. There's no message here. It's just about having a really good time. And to me, the film does that in spades. Yes, the plot is really silly. And yes, the actors are kind of playing themselves. But ultimately, was I entertained? Well, hell yes, I was. I thought it was a really refreshing, old school movie with action heroes. And that's the kind of thing it sets out to be. And to me, that's exactly what it achieved. Of course, you have to leave reality at the door and go in with an open mind and enjoy it for what it is. And I think these kind of movies are few and far between actually. Most of the films we see these days are very much message movies, and this absolutely isn't this. This is fun just for the sake of fun. As I said, it's watching two friends having a good time, and all the way through it I was thoroughly entertained. And as I said, I think the running time really helps with that. If it was 15-20 minutes longer, it may have been a different thing. But because it was a crisp running time, I was entertained all the way through it. Would I recommend it? I think I would actually. I'd certainly watch it again. To me, it's a 4 out of 5, and it was really refreshing after what I've been watching recently. Well, that's it from me. As always, I really appreciate you spending a bit of time with me. It's always appreciated. If you do want to support, don't be afraid to like and subscribe. And if you have any comments, please leave them. I'd love to hear what you thought about this film. Or if you've got any idea what you'd like me to review next, again, pop those in the comments. But anyway, that's all from me. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.